said, for a good time, called Buffalo Bill, and there's a picture of me going, yeah.
And say, whatever you do, just don't say.
Can we get a picture? Oh, yeah. Well, let's get out of the bathroom.
Educate, inform, inspire. The Dan Parsons Show, a podcast that lifts up instead of tearing down.
Hey, welcome to the Dan Parsons Show. I'm your host, Dan Parsons. Well, it's finally Friday, boys and girls, and we're helping you start the weekend right with the return of the Friday Afternoon Club with my best bud, Chef Kevin Shinn. Here's our chat with Joe Cruz, also known on Instagram as American Role Model. Enjoy. Well, yes, all week long, we toil at our jobs. We get the kids where they're supposed to be on time. We put up with all the crazy shit that's going on in Washington. So I don't know about you, but by the time we get to Friday, we like to do something a little different here on the Dan Parsons Show. So welcome to the Friday Afternoon Club with my best bud, Chef Kevin Shinn.
Hey, Dan.
Chef, happy Friday.
How you getting on, Dan?
I'll be doing better. We aren't necessarily drinking here, but that doesn't prevent our listeners and viewers. Yes. See, to join us, any way you like. So, but let me introduce, our special guest today, Mr. Joe Cruz. Some of you may remember Joe as it's been about a year now, Joe, the first ever Chief Pizza and Beer Officer for Casey's. Anyway,
That's
Joe,
right.
Joe, welcome back.
Yeah. Glad to be back.
Yeah. You were on the radio show, I think a couple times, but this is your first official visit, to the Dan Parsons Show podcast. So welcome aboard, my friend.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Yeah. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Look how far we've come.
That's right. Yeah. I don't think my lawyers need me to go over some of that. Anyway, we can. That's a whole different show because this is Friday, and we're having fun.
Oh, what a week! What a week! I'm glad we're here. Time to kick back. Time to relax. Time to party.
That's right.
Pick your choice out of those, I guess.
Yeah. So, Chef, even though we may not be drinking here as we're recording this on Thursday morning, but what is your drink of the week?
Well, it's the Collins family. Super simple drink to have in your repertoire. Tom Collins is simply gin, a citrus, lemon, or lime, and a little simple syrup, and then you top it off with soda water.
Yeah.
Super easy to have in your toolkit when you host people. But what a lot of people don't realize is Tom Collins has some brothers. And
do they behave? Are they rowdy?
After a while, no. But so Tom's got a brother named John,
mm-hmm.
and John is built with bourbon, not gin.
Okay,
same idea.
John Collins.
So if you if you like bourbon, you'll have a John Collins, and then he has a adopted brother named Juan.
Okay.
And,
let me guess. A little tequila in that
that's
one?
right. That's right. So you can make the Collins with tequila instead of.
Well, that sounds good. I do like a good tequila drink.
Yeah. And so you can use your imagination, Joe, and then let it run wild and add your other various relatives to the Collins family. But
nice.
Those are the three.
Nice. I like that. I like those brothers.
You garnish all of them with a lime or
whatever you put in it. So typically, if it has lime juice in the drink, I put lime as a garnish. Part of that is for your staff to keep it straight. So you're wondering, which was which, and well, John's got a lemon, and Juan's got a orange slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it is spring, and I think those those who know me, I've made the switch from whiskey to gin because the sun's shining and it's above 60 degrees. And
is that like wearing white after Easter?
After Labor Day?
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, when the weather turns cold, I put away the gin and get out the whiskey. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy a tumbler of whiskey from now and then in the springtime. But yeah, no,
tumbler. Joe, did you get that?
Oh, I did. Yeah,
and enjoyed a tumbler, not a rocks. A tumbler.
No. It's been a long winter.
Oh, it has been. It has been. Damn it. And it's been a long week, so as my viewers and listeners know, and by the way, if you're not watching us on the YouTube, this is a good time to start because I tell you what, these are two handsome men here celebrating the Friday Afternoon Club, and Joe Cruz is decked out. It looks like he's going to be with at the White House with Kid Rock.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we go to the same tailor, actually.
Yeah. Somebody's shooting you out of a cannon later, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Let me get my helmet.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so tune into the YouTube channel. The audio is great, and let your imaginations run wild. So, okay, it has been a long week. I've been talking to a lot of politicians, and I'm asking all of our guests these same 4 questions. So I'm interested in more of the common person's answer to these because I've had all these politicians answer these questions all week long, and they're great. Go back and look and listen. But I'm interested in more boots on the street, the neighborhood take on these 4 questions. So anyway, let's do it real fast, and we can take as long as you want. We aren't confined by time here on the podcast. So anyway, 4 questions for each of you, and then you get to fire one back at me. So maybe we'll do it, Kevin, Joe, and anyway. So here's the first question. Kevin, I'll start with you. Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? Northeastern Oklahoma, in a little town called Bartlesville. To get there, you go to Nebraska City and turn right.
Okay.
Just right on 75 on the way down.
Yeah. Joe, where did you grow up?
Right here in Lincoln, Nebraska, USA.
Nice. Question number 2, Kevin, when you were growing up, what was your dream job as a kid?
Well, I thought I wanted to be an architect because I liked to build things, models, tree houses, skateboard ramps, and then came math. And I wasn't very good at math. And so I thought, well, that's probably not a good profession for me.
I remember that too. I remember taking an architecture class in gosh, it had to have been elementary or maybe middle school. But I came to the same conclusions like, Matt, check this off. Can't do it. There's math involved. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I became a PR guy. So anyway, Joe, how about you? Growing up, what was the dream job?
I had a few ideas bouncing around when I was growing up. Architect was one of them. I wanted to design school parks or public parks for kids to play at, jungle gyms. Then I thought I was going to be an inventor and came up with a couple silly little gadgets. And then I want to be a big movie star. And then I settled on, following my dream of being a graphic artist. And that's what I do full time. So maybe I'm still working on the movie star part. We'll see. Hey,
I think you are. Yeah, don't give that dream up. Heck yeah. Okay. Next question, Kevin. Who is, and you can answer this any way you want, because again, I get all kinds of answers to this question. So in your mind, maybe who's the most famous person you've ever met?
Met Barry Switzer.
Oh,
and Nebraskans would maybe either appreciate or not appreciate that. But
now, Chef, for some of our listeners that might not know who that is, could you elaborate?
Yes, thanks, Joe. Yes.
No, when I moved to Nebraska in 1990, my newfound Nebraska friends knew as much, if not more, about Oklahoma football than I did. So that was pretty eye-opening, that rivalry.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But and Barry was, even though the rivalry was really intense, Nebraska, Oklahoma back in the day, it seemed like we kind of liked the coach? I mean, he seemed like kind of a swashbuckler. And
He was a likable guy. He would come into the restaurant that I served at, and I occasionally would serve his table, and he was always really kind to me and tipped really well. And so I don't know what he was like otherwise, but
on the field.
yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Joe? I bet you've met some famous folks in your day.
I've met a couple. Since you're saying football related, I did meet Tom Osborne once in high school. That was really neat.
Yeah.
But the most famous person I've met would have to be Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
If you follow my Instagram, American Role Model, you would see that he was recently touring his beer across country and stopped at Hy-Vee.
That's right. He was here in town.
I got all decked up in my best 80s WrestleMania themed outfit. Went and shook his hand, and I told him,
Did he call you brother?
He did. He's like, "Oh, hell, nice outfit, brother. Looking good." But I had to tell him that this was the second time we met. We actually ran into him in Las Vegas when I turned 22. We went to the bathroom at the Caesar's Palace, and I looked over, and there's 7-foot-tall Hulk Hogan just using the urinal, and oh my gosh, it's Hulk, and we go wash our hands, and Hulk, I'm a big fan. Can we get a picture? Oh yeah. Well, let's get out of the bathroom first.
Hey, his PR people had told him years ago, don't linger in the bathroom.
Yeah. So he taught me a valuable lesson, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, last question like this. Kevin, what was the very first concert you attended?
Oh, Little River Band, Civic Auditorium, downtown Oklahoma City. It would have been in 1980.
Yeah, they were. They were top the charts.
Yeah.
Little River Band. I think they're still touring.
I think so. Like 50 years later.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Huh. How about you, Joe? First concert.
My very first concert. I just graduated high school, 2004, and a friend invited me. They had an extra ticket to Maroon 5.
Okay. Yeah.
We got it. They just dropped their first album. I forget the hit song, but yeah, first concert at Pershing Auditorium. R.I.P. Pershing.
Yep.
But my last concert though was just last Thursday. My favorite band, Franz Ferdinand. They were in Kansas City,
Really?
and I was wanting to go. I knew they were coming, but I'm like, when are they going to be closer than Kansas City? So spur of the moment. Thursday at 1:00, I went home. I'm like, honey, I'm going to Kansas City. She's like, who's going with you? You need to take a friend. I'm like, Joe can't go. My brother can't go. And so I called my dad.
Nice.
7-year-old Franz Ferdinand fan now. So yeah, we went down there and hung out and rocked. It was so much fun. Oh, but then 2 days ago, I checked their Instagram and they just announced the second half of the tour. They'll be in Omaha in October.
Yeah. Well,
so
hey.
I'll see them twice.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, you each get to fire a question back to me. It could be one of those, something different. Color of my teacher. Oh, look, I didn't even realize that.
What is going on? What is that a laser kitten?
This is
Ray gun shirt.
Ray gun.
Pew pew pew. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, our friends at Ray Gun T-shirt. It's the greatest store in the universe throughout the Midwest, Des Moines, Chicago.
Out of Des Moines, right? Yeah, I've visited one of their hubs.
And Omaha, and they just opened up last year a shop here in Lincoln. So
neat.
That's where you can find your Go Fact Yourself T-shirt that they created. For me.
Yes.
So there you go. So
all right, Dan, best piece of a PR advice you could give to the average Joe and Kevin?
Just shut up.
Just shut the hell up. Well, I've told this story a few times, and I can tell it truthfully here on the podcast because we don't have any restrictions for language. If you find yourself, and I know you've done this, you both have done this. So if any of our listeners find themselves doing a live television interview, okay, let's say you're out on the street and reporter sticks their mic into your face, or maybe you find yourself in a television studio and it's arranged. And so I always tell my clients, live television is both the easiest and the most difficult interviews to do, because it's easy because there's no editing. You can say and do, whatever you want. And it's not filtered or edited, but it's difficult because it's live, right? We all get a little nervous. This is live TV, God and everybody's watching. So, so I always put my arm around my client before they go onto the set and say, whatever you do, just don't say fuck.
Okay, Joe, that's going to be hard for you and me, I think.
Great. Now that's all I'm thinking about.
Anyway, all right, Joe, you're around.
I'm interested in you're a man of the world. Who's the most famous person you've met?
Oh, that's easy. And producer Ike can even throw this up on the screen if he wants to. So I went to high school and middle school out in Ogallala. My family moved out west, about that age. And so I graduated from high school out there. So my entire career in Ogallala, in middle school and high school, I worked for Kentucky Fried Chicken. And so apparently we did so well, we won some award, and we all got to go to Omaha and have some kind of an awards dinner. And sure enough, so this would have been back in the 80s, right? Late 70s, and early 80s. Sure enough, Colonel Harlan Sanders himself was there. And so you can see this picture.
Just find the chicken himself?
Yeah. No, it was at a steakhouse, and
sure.
they didn't serve any chicken. So, but he was in his usual garb with the suit and the black bow tie, or the.
Oh, no kidding.
And would meet everyone and sign autographs, and was probably pretty old at that point. Just kind of, he wasn't involved in any kind of management. He was just kind of a figurehead. But yeah.
Did he sound like he should? Like,
yeah.
Big, thick accent? And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so anyway, if you see that picture, there's no chicken, a lot of polyester, and a lot of hair.
I can't wait to see it.
So, anyway. All right. Well, hey, let's take a quick little break before we come back and continue this conversation. We want to hear from our friends at Howler Haus Comedy Club. So let's hear from them, and we'll be right back. Hey, ever heard of Kenny Banyan? Of course you have. Steve Heitner, best known for his role on Seinfeld, is hitting the stage at Howler Haus Comedy Show on Friday, April 25th for 2 hilarious shows. Get your tickets now because they're going fast. Go to beerhausne.com. That's BIERHAUSNE.com. Or just find us on Facebook. I'll see you there Friday, April 25th. Okay, welcome back to the Friday Afternoon Club. I don't know about you, but this is much needed. We're here with my best bud, Chef Kevin Shinn, and our guest, Joe Cruz, and we're celebrating Friday. And so if you don't have a beverage, grab one, set out on the deck, turn on the music, not too loud because you want to hear what we're talking about. So anyway, here we are. Joe, I want to talk about, it's been about a year now that you became the first ever chief pizza and beer officer.
Oh yeah,
for Casey's.
Got my Journal Star front page article right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's first of all, just remind our listeners and viewers that was a pretty stiff competition, and you came out on top.
Yes, it was a online search for the best candidate to become the first ever chief pizza and beer officer, and they said there was over 500 applicants. You go online, you submit some resume, answer some questions, and then most importantly, you submit a video proclaiming that you want to be the CPBO of Casey's. And
nice.
I did all of that, threw on some extra videos just for, nails on the coffin, and they called me back in a couple of weeks and said, Joe, you're our man if you're up for the job. And I said, you have no idea.
That's so. Do you have any idea who some of the competition was?
Well, that was one of the fun things because you had to tag a hashtag Casey's best job ever to it, so you could follow that link and then see all the other candidates. And it was a lot of people just sitting in their kitchen or living room, eating a pizza, drinking a beer, but no one was really getting out there and doing something very creative with it. There were some really well-spoken folks on Instagram that were submitting and like, oh, that guy's going to be good. That girl's going to be good. And, but no one was really getting as creative as I was. So I think that's the part that shone throughout.
That's cool. That's cool. Chef, does that remind you of our era of elevating chefs to celebrity status?
Local food.
Yeah.
We had that bee in our bonnet for a while, wondering why we can't support more locally owned independent restaurants.
Yeah. Well, and Casey's, I mean, Kevin, I know you've made this observation before, and Joe, weigh in on this, but Kevin, talk about your observations of what Casey's really is.
Casey's is not a gas station.
No, not anymore.
It's a pizza shop. And you can get gas at the pizza shop. Really? That's...
Yeah. 10 years ago, I remember they started doing the campaign, Casey's known for pizza. Mm-hmm. And I would laugh like, no, you're known for getting gas there. But 10 years later, it's completely changed. Yeah. The fifth largest pizza distributor in the nation.
Yeah. Are they really?
It is. And when I found that out, I was like, holy smokes, like we're in the running. Like this is awesome.
But I think it shows the wisdom of the leadership, and they know what their market is. It's not gas. I mean,
there's a lot of places you can get petro.
Yeah. So why not? And the way we like to think about food in America, food is fuel. And so you fill one tank and fill the other. And so, you get both of those done at the same time. And now it just happens to be pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so it's a real gig, Joe. And like I said, it's been about a year now since you've had this gig. And obviously you still do all of the other things you do here in the community, but you actually have a role. It's not just a title, and it's not just an Insta account.
Yep. My manager, she calls me up whenever they need a video. The latest one was for April Fools, and that one was tracking really good. It has over 10,000 views right now. The other ones usually cap about 5,000, but I think I got to thank Doane College. Oh, Dan, let me tell you a little story here. Yeah. I get a message from the marketing professor at Doane asking if I could come speak to the kids for the CPBO role. And I'm like, of course, sure. So I come in, and at first they're like, well, here's some questions we'll have. Like, is the Crete, how does Crete support 3 different Casey's? And they're all on the same side of the street. How does that affect business? What's going to happen when Domino's comes in? And I'm like, well, slow down. I'm the CPBO, not like the actual marketing guy.
I'm not the financial analyst for the company. Yeah, that's like a different role.
When you go into back to college to talk about business and just knows nothing about it. But I told her, like, I'll come and I'll talk to the kids about the creative side and like the idea side. And she said, that's great. And we did. And we actually filmed part of the video there with 4 of the students. They're all pulling out their books out of the backpack, but then the 4th one pulls out a Casey's pizza. And like, what? And like, April Fools, gotcha. I think I got to thank Doane for a lot of the views on that one, but it was a blast. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that does remind me, Chef, of, we've all grown up in this era of elevating chefs to these superstar roles. And really, when it comes right down to it, anyway, I know you have some thoughts on that. It's become, and you've interacted with some of those people.
Yeah. Well, every industry needs its superstar. Yeah, because superstars somehow legitimize the sport, the effort, the business,
or even just brings light to it, more eyes on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Paula Deen was the darling of Food Network. Your grandmother might cook just as good as she did, if not better, but nobody knows your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
They know Paula Deen, and so she gets all the credit and then gets all the spotlight and then eventually got all the criticism. That's the downside of being the face of something. But we all need our superstars, and that will implode eventually, given the fragile nature of the human spirit. And whether it's a pastor or whether it's a CEO and they fall from grace, then
Yep.
They're toast. So I find it just a lot more enjoyable to embrace my anonymity and have a sense of privacy. Like I can go somewhere and not be noticed, and Joe can't, of course.
And I want to be noticed. So if you're out there, say hi. I'll sign your baby.
Yeah.
Well, that is an interesting dilemma. I mean, shoot, I'm in the business of helping people get noticed, or in some instances, unnoticed. And now I find myself, hosting a podcast, radio show, doing this and then that. And so it's taken me a while to get used to being the front person. I was always the person in the back, writing the speech and lining up the news media and for the people that I was working for. And so now the shoe's on the other foot, and it's taken me a while. It's kind of weird.
I think where it goes awry is that you're unable to be yourself in the celebrity role. So like I used to be a pastor, and I wrote a book about faith recently, and I could not have written that book if I was employed by a church or a denomination.
Right.
Because I spoke some things and wrote some things that were out of line of the party line. And but if I had tied my paycheck to my position, I wouldn't have written that book. And I think that's a lot of what happens in roles that you begin to, elevate. If you can't be yourself, then you become trapped and imprisoned. And I think it's why we like certain people that just speak their mind, and they're not beholden to the numbers or the views or the clicks, and they just speak it as they see it.
It's so difficult. I feel for our kids and maybe our grandkids who are living in this, mobile age of this computer in our pocket that does everything and to get us noticed. And it's a different era. Well, and Joe, keeping on this theme of famous people and getting attraction, you've actually portrayed a famous historical figure here in Nebraska with some aplomb, I might say. It's been, anyway, talk a little bit about your role as Buffalo Bill.
Yep. Buffalo Bill with visitnorthplatte.com. I got offered a role, friend of mine, Steve Molly Marketing. They pitched North Platte a new advertising idea. This is about 7 years ago, where they're going to kind of rethink Buffalo Bill. Not just an old gunslinger, a showman, but this is going to be young Buffalo Bill, and he's going to go on adventures, the adventures that you can do in North Platte. So we put me in the wig, put the big mustache on. The first video concept they wanted me to test out, I'm running in Daisy Duke short shorts, jogging shirt, with the vest on, just down a trail. I'm like, come visit North Platte. They got great running trails. They showed that to the board, and all but one were like, what the hell are you thinking? This is not Buffalo Bill.
There's the door. Yeah.
But Lisa, she said, no, there's something here. There's something here. So they kind of built it up a little more and elaborated it. And I will be going back to film our 4th year of commercials this summer.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And I know we were talking before. 3 years ago, they put up a billboard on.
Yes, talk about the billboard. Yeah.
This was a new campaign with the same idea, but it was more of a guerrilla marketing strategy. So they would go to ball fields and put signs like learn guitar lessons, but instead it's for a good time called Buffalo Bill, and you could take the tag number off. I had friends texting me pictures of this, and I'm like, what is, I didn't know they were doing this, but like, do you want me to take this down? I'm like, no, it's not my real thing. Like, don't worry. But they did the same thing with the billboard on 14th and O. Said for a good time called Buffalo Bill, and there's a picture of me going, yeah. Oh, you know what?
Above the parish building, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, there it is.
That guy right there.
For the longest time, Joe, before I knew you, I saw that campaign, and I know Steve and his marketing company. We do some work with them from time to time. I thought, first of all, it's a brilliant campaign, and I know the folks out in North Platte. I know Lisa, and it's just a fabulous campaign. But I had no stinking idea that was you.
I've had other friends, because I'll get to the story, but other friends, when that came down, they're like, that was you. I had no idea. But then I had other friends that are taking pictures of this in their apartment or in their office saying, I have to stare at your ugly face all day. What the heck, man? I'm like, I'm sorry. But this billboard was up. It was supposed to be up for one summer. And no one ever called to put their new thing up there. So it just stayed up for 3 more years. And then it finally blew down in a big storm.
Oh, this winter. Yeah.
But I called Todd with Downtown Lincoln and said, hey, man, could you help me figure out who owns this billboard? I would like the thing back. He's like, Joe, we own this now. We just bought it. And we were going to start advertising on it next week. So the fact that the wind blew it down a week before it was going to come down anyway is just like a godsend of a story for me to put onto my Instagram. And it was fun. So yeah, check out American Role Model. There's a great reel on it of Sarah McLaughlin singing I Will Remember You, and all the times that we took pictures in front of it, all the pictures my friends sent. And it's a good RIP farewell for the sign.
Yeah. Well, that's a great story. Yeah.
I did get it back.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, now we just need to figure out the city ordinances so that you can put that up in your backyard.
Right. That's. I think Dawn would maybe get mad that she'd have to look out her window and see my ugly face every day too.
Oh, that's great. Well, Chef, as we wind down here, we can go as long as we like, but I wanted to ask about the Portico, and it's getting to be Portico season. Think people are
thinking from about tonight is our opening day.
How long's the waiting list?
Well, all the weekends are booked, so you can get a Wednesday or a Sunday night.
Oh, perfect.
Somewhere.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So what's on the menu? How do you start before the garden's fresh and everything?
We're growing vegetables already, and these are this is lettuce, and my focus this season is color.
Okay.
Really want to introduce a lot of color. So that's a red lettuce. This is a red amaranth that has these beautiful red plumes of seed heads. And then this is a coleus. And so if you come to the Portico, the first thing you will notice is color. I lost my 60-year-old ash tree that had to take it down. And so that was a big, big part of the kind of canopy of my garden. And so I had to replace it with something that would detract your attention away from the loss of that shade tree.
Nice.
So a lot of work in the garden right now to get ready and taking advantage of the nice weather that we've got.
And so obviously you start those plants in your house
inside here.
Yeah.
And then move them out into what's called a cold frame, so it's a larger box with a plastic lid on it that you can still get the sunshine but protect it from the cold nights like we're having.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joe, as we wrap up, any fun projects on your horizon here in the next few weeks?
Well, wedding season's about to kick off in May. I'll be devoting my weekends to newlyweds or brides and grooms real soon.
Because you're a DJ, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah, yeah,
wedding
yeah,
entertainer on the side, and
yeah.
in fact, I'll be at Glacial Till tomorrow if you want to stop by for a wedding expo. Just say hi, grab some cider. It's pretty good stuff. And what else? I'm planning for my 40th birthday. I got to get planned early because it's going to be November 1st. We're going to do a roast of Joe Cruz. So
Put that on the calendar. So there'll be an event somewhere open to the public. Is that what I'm hearing?
It'll be open to friends and family. So if I know you, you're a friend, and we'll get you a ticket.
Awesome. Yeah. Well,
I'm thinking about a yacht club theme. So if you want to, put on your sailor's hat and the jacket,
then you're going to play yacht rock as the
yeah.
So we're running out of time here, Joe, but I'm curious, so I used to play in a cover band for years, and back in the 80s, we used to do probably similar to what you're doing, weddings, and we'd play high school proms once in a while and college gigs. And so then, that 80s music still has a place. And so as I continued into my musical career as an adult, we would still play some of that 80s music. So what's the genre? Do you have requests for certain genres or?
Oh, shoot. I'm pretty sure this is an 80s song, but now, oh my God, Cherry. That's the band.
Yes. Wow. I know where you're going.
White Boy. Play that funky music, White Boy.
Uh-huh.
It's one of the number one requested songs at weddings. I'll play it anytime. And then same with Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody. Big hits on the wedding dance floor. AC/DC. Should be all night long. Pour some sugar on me. It's all good.
We finally had the ban the chicken dance because I got so fucking sick of it. It's like, I ain't playing that anymore. I don't care what we're making. I ain't playing the chicken.
Number one song that's on the don't play list.
Yes, exactly. That and Freebird.
Oh boy. Can I just start Freebird at the end solo?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, this is great. Let's do it again soon. Kevin, you want to get us out of here with the word?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot about anger. Anger's been a theme for my Instagram posts, but partly because I'm speaking at Ignite Lincoln next Thursday, a week from tomorrow.
Awesome.
And so I'm just using my muse as my muse to provoke my thinking toward what I'm going to say. Be known for what you love, not reputed by what makes you furious. Be known for what you believe, not formed by what you're against. Be known for how you nurture, not shaped by what you protest.
Wow, that's great.
That's pretty powerful. That's a great way
nowadays too.
Yeah, that's a great way to end the Friday afternoon club. That's really cool. So, Ignite Lincoln coming up just next week, right?
Yeah, Rococo Theater next Thursday night at 7:00. I am one of 10 or 11 speakers.
It's a great event.
We all have 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great event.
Which is people say it's difficult, but I'm in the business of using fewer words, and I wrote a book that title. So I love the challenge of how can I communicate with fewer words.
Yeah, Joe, where can people follow you? Remind us.
Find me on Instagram at American Role Model, and then my DJ page is at Never Turn It Off.
There we go.
Very cool. I love that. Well, guys, thanks for kicking off the weekend. We appreciate it very much here on the Dan Parsons Show, and we'll do it again soon. Well, thanks, Chef and Joe. That's how you start a weekend. Thanks to our sponsor, Howler Haus Comedy Club. The producer of the Friday Afternoon Club, Ike Somanis. Penology Tech Solutions for their technical help and equipment. and Kim Remington, Parsons Public Relations Director of Operations. And thanks to each of you for listening and viewing the podcast. We really appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Go do good things. I'm Dan Parsons.